Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Mader.
Woo! And with that awesome video, I'd like to officially welcome you to Smartsheet Engage 2019, our third annual Global Customer Conference. You are nearly 4,000 strong from 39 countries. And we have come together to be inspired and to share with and learn from one another and to deepen the Smartsheet community. Our mission at Smartsheet centers on empowering achievement in its many forms. That's for individuals, for teams, and organizations. We seek to be a catalyst, unleashing the greatest force in the world, human innovation. When innovation occurs and achievement becomes the standard by which effectiveness is measured, businesses transform. They become capable of successfully competing in a world where flexibility and adaptability are the keys to not just surviving, but thriving. Every market force out there is pushing us all to be more agile, expecting our companies to be dynamic, well-oiled, digitally driven entities, capable of delivering whatever the market demands. But ultimately, it comes down to empowering the type of success at the individual team and executive levels that can have a positive effect throughout an organization, making it more efficient, more successful, and quite frankly, more satisfying to be a part of. And achievement sparks further achievement. It builds momentum, and it spreads virally, creating a flywheel effect. And like a flywheel, it takes some energy to get started. But when achievement becomes that new normal in an organization, it creates energy that has powerful and lasting effect. I see this happening all the time, from upstarts to the most mature companies that you would not think could possibly move that quickly. At Smartsheet, that is what we mean by achieve more. I'd like to share with you an example of an organization that achieved more and the very positive results that have rippled across their business. Syngenta is a Fortune 500 biotech company focused on agriculture. And I was fortunate to experience their innovative spirit firsthand when I visited their U.S. headquarters in Greensboro, North Carolina, just last month. I was struck by their desire to achieve and very grateful for the role we play in their success.
The world population is growing by over 200,000 people every day. In the next 50 years, we will have to produce more food than the last 10,000 years. And that's where Syngenta comes into play.
Syngenta's Good Growth Plan is our commitment to sustainable food production, our ability to improve the yields of crops and to be able to do it in a safe way. One of the big challenges we have as a global company with people dispersed in hundreds of locations is the ability to get data into a single place. Smartsheet has made it possible to bring data together to make decisions faster about the crops we produce, about the way we work, the way we manufacture our products.
The plants don't have work hours, they just keep growing. So Smartsheet has enabled us to get that data in there, giving us complete visibility into what is going on. We're now able to start making decisions real time, looking at trends, being more proactive rather than reactive.
With Smartsheet, we're able to be very strategic in how we work. We're able to put all of our information together in one place, and we have visibility from our leadership level all the way down to every single person that needs access to it. It really revolutionized how we work.
The way we're using Smartsheet to really improve our safety performance is truly transformational.
Within about 3 months, we have 130 safety observations, where last year we had 10 for the entire site. We're protecting people every day thanks to Smartsheet.
Once you understand the power of Smartsheet and how easy it is to use, the way you approach problems completely changes. We're trying to solve real-world problems climate change, loss of land for our farmers. Smartsheet is going to help us take it to the next level.
Katie and her colleagues, Chuck, Anna, Scott, who are also in that video, are here with us today. Will they and the rest of the Syngenta team please stand to be recognized? Great stuff. Having been on site with you, there is so much I love about that video. And what I like most is that Katie was sitting right where you are now. She came to Engage, like all of you, to learn more about what Smartsheet could do for her team and the business. And by opening up her mind to new possibilities, upon her return from Engage, Katie was able to leverage Smartsheet's mobile capabilities in the field to automate a data gathering process that was seen as slow and inaccurate. The new process has resulted in no failed lab experiments. Most importantly, it has also enabled Syngenta to bring higher quality products to market faster. The flywheel was then in motion, and Anna brought forward innovations in health and safety that resulted in a 500% increase in safety reports and a 65% faster issue resolution time. So as you reflect on what Syngenta was able to accomplish with Smartsheet and the meaningful impact those efforts had across that business, I hope you're asking, as I am, who will be featured at next year's Engage? Thank you, Syngenta, for hosting me at your headquarters and serving as such a great example for what it means to have your work matter. The power of human innovation can also be directed towards giving back for the good of the community. And that was on full display yesterday here at Engage, when we hosted our first ever Hackathon for Good. At the event, we matched 4 nonprofit organizations with volunteers, all of whom were Smartsheet certified, to help build solutions for some of these organizations' most pressing needs. Let's take a look at what giving back, Smartsheet style, looked like yesterday.
Today was the Hack for Good.
I would say it was eye-opening, and dare I say mind-blowing.
If I had to sum up my experience today in one word, I think it would be impactful.
I hope they do it again, because I would love to come back.
So we were invited to participate in the Hack for Good event. We had a challenge. We're growing so rapidly, and we need to be able to scale our effort. We mapped out some new process so that we could be more efficient.
The office manager had a lot of issues following up and emails, so she said that she could save up to 3 hours daily.
When you're talking about a nonprofit where even their employees are a commodity, anytime that you can make that commodity worth more is beneficial to them.
Our end game is reaching as many students as we possibly can. And so the more that we streamline our processes using programs like Smartsheet, the faster we can get out to every single student in the nation.
It's a minor improvement, it's a major.
It was great to see a problem, come up with a solution, implement that solution, and then all walk away pretty excited about it.
There was no friction, nothing. It was all about getting to the end goal. The difference today is that we're doing good for the world. We are helping others. I think it's good to give back always.
Yesterday afternoon, I had a chance to stop by. The energy in that room was so positive. A range of needs were expressed, ideas were brainstormed, and ultimately, configurations were defined and implemented. And some of the examples, just to bring you inside for a second, CASA built a scheduling solution that enables them to plan and execute nearly 1,000 training courses. JDRF leveraged dashboards to create a portal through which their national board of directors can monitor and provide input on hundreds of important projects. And for Avid, We help them build a solution for scheduling professional development for more than 70,000 teachers each summer, which leads to richer classroom experiences for students. And the Special Olympics, we help guide the development of a fully integrated workflow that connects their regional project planning to budgeting and execution efforts. I want to thank the volunteers representing 13 Smartsheet customers who gave their time and talents yesterday, including arriving at Engage a day early. Really appreciate that. You're helping us build that stronger community. And what you helped do was further the missions of these organizations. The concept of achievement, it's a powerful one. It carries a lot more weight than simply updating and sharing information. And as important as those activities are, achievement, it inspires us at an entirely different level, a core level. And over the years, while technology has fueled tremendous gains in productivity, the long-held standard for organizational efficiency, recently, those productivity gains have flattened, despite a massive increase in spending on back-office apps like ERP and CRM, and front-office apps like Cloud Docs and messaging. Enlightened businesses, and I would argue that Smartsheet customers fall into that category, recognize this flattening. And they appreciate that how efficiently we work is different than how effectively we work. You realize that the value of new technology is more than simply yielding greater capacity or more throughput. Value comes instead from unlocking the organizational effectiveness made possible when the right technology is put to use by people with a desire to achieve. That results in a significant change in how work is done. Do any of you have children who game? I have two. And while my daughters have likely achieved a few more unlock codes than I have in my life, I do often think about how combining motivated and talented individuals with accessible technology is almost like enabling them to discover an unlock code in a game. New possibilities arise, and once thought unattainable becomes achievable. That is an exhilarating moment. We have always created software with that goal in mind, to give you that unlock code that helps your organization level up. When I see Karyopharm Therapeutics, a biotech focused on late-stage myeloma treatments, use Smartsheet to get patient data to clinical researchers 5 times faster, I know they've leveled up. Thank you, Team Karyopharm. When I see longtime customer Populous use Smartsheet's dashboards and mobile capabilities to produce amazing events like the Super Bowl and the Final Four, I know they've leveled up. Thank you, Mark Klein at Populous. And established companies can also modernize. When I see publisher McGraw-Hill, founded in 1888, use Smartsheet to empower educators to better serve the needs of the modern classroom, they too are leveling up. So what's going on in the press today? With all the talk about automation, I also believe there's been too much focus and energy put on what technology may take away from people versus focusing on what people and technology will achieve together. Things that were not done before because they were deemed too difficult or too expensive or too risky. Impressive things happen when companies empower their people with technologies that amplify the work that is uniquely suited for people to do, that improves the way people work while honoring their needs and preferences, and builds loyalty and advocacy by enabling people to create and curate their solutions. Ownership matters. When that happens, people are motivated to come to the office because they are connected to their work. They help the company adapt to constantly changing circumstances, operate more nimbly, and lo and behold, improve results. The most successful organizations of the future the ones that grasp this and act on this fundamental reality will have a tremendous advantage. That is the story we want to present to the world. And Smartsheet is committed to driving this important industry conversation well beyond Engage. That's why I'm pleased to announce this morning that Smartsheet has founded the Achieve as One Alliance. This alliance will explore how organizations bring together people and technology to open up new worlds of organizational effectiveness and achievement. This group's work will begin by conducting research on topics including the technology needs of the modern knowledge worker, best practices for melding organizational culture with technology and people, and the role of machine learning and AI to help drive human and organizational performance. I'm pleased to bring to the stage the newly appointed president of Time, Keith Grossman. All right, Keith, good to see you again.
Thank you for having me here, Mark.
So, Keith, when we saw each other in New York, I shared with you how much Time magazine meant to our family growing up. Like, in many ways, it was my pipeline to current events in the world. So tell us a little bit about what the Time franchise has going on right now.
So I'm relatively new to this role, 2 months in, and it was a very interesting experience for me. It was the first job I ever took where I got a lot of notes that said, congratulations, followed by ... Let me tell you what this brand means to me. Many stories similar to yours. And what I realized was that over the 97-year history of this brand, the magazine overwhelmingly dominates. But the reality is that when you look at it from a 2007 forward, the year of the modern social consumer, the iPhone and whatnot, you all of a sudden see an incredibly modern consumer of this brand. 16.2 million on Twitter, 8 million on Instagram, 2 million online in Japan. And for us, what we're going to start thinking about is how do we activate those consumers? How do we think differently about the organization while still respecting the legacy of what we've done over the past 97 years?
Well, if you haven't checked out those digital properties, do it. I mean, it has, since we met, it's become part of my daily, weekly cadence. Really well done.
Thank you.
So the other thing that I noticed was that you had quite an interest on the future of work and how people and technology will interact. So expand on that a bit.
Sure. I mean, one of the things that we were talking about at breakfast was this notion that AI is very real, machine learning is very real, but you have to all of a sudden classify it into two groups. Like, is the work that the machine learning and the AI will do closed circuit, or is it open circuit? When it's open circuit, it requires human input. That's where humans and technologies coexist together, and that's where my interest really was aligned with what we were talking about.
So as we were talking about the tech, right, we also talked about how important connections between people are. And I think you said when the accountability between people erodes, systems will break.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with that statement more, I guess because I made it, right?
It.
Yeah, so was, but you know, technology at the end of the day is just a tool. It's just an enabler. And if the organizations are not set up to realize that human beings are high-touch entities, high-touch individuals, then they fall victim to the low-touch implementations that technology has to offer. Those technology implications are incredibly powerful, but the way that organizations ultimately look at their staff and support their teams and have them collaborate together is equally as important.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining on this alliance. And in addition to Time, we're excited to welcome other alliance members. We have GE Healthcare, Broadridge Financial Solutions, noted psychologist and author Joseph Michelli, whose work focuses on organizational culture building and innovation, and Nick Sinai, the Deputy U.S. CTO under the Obama administration and currently a lecturer of public policy at Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. And we're going to have other members join us over time as well. And we also look forward to working with you on Time's 100 Healthcare Summit. I'll see you in New York next week.
Thank you so much,
okay,
Mark.
Thanks, Keith.
Have a great one.
So one of the great things about Engage is that it's such a great vehicle for reminding us of the role we play in so many customers' businesses. And that recognition carries with it both a sense of gratitude and responsibility. To build a service and a company that you can rely on today and into the future. And the ways in which people, teams, and organizations are working continues to evolve, and Smartsheet is preparing for your future needs. In watching the evolution of the market, and after speaking with hundreds of customers, I've observed that organizations have recognized en masse that creating and storing docs in the cloud and communicating via the cloud, while foundationally important, they do not constitute alone the future of modern work. You might recall, going way back to 2006, that the promise of migrating those functions to the cloud, combined with our smartphones, was going to be the transformational answer to managing work. We were done. But even with so much change and improvement, our work lives were still not perfectly awesome. Business users still struggled with leveraging technology to collect information, structure and organize it, and derive insights from it. And when I'm talking business user, I'm not talking about the type of business user who's coding on the weekend. But the market realized something was needed. And I'm really pleased to say times have changed. The new category, collaborative work management, CWM, has evolved to meet these needs, with capabilities well beyond simple project management. CWM brings together low-friction collaboration, breaking down silos, creating clear ownership. It provides real-time visibility into the status of work, enabling better, faster decision-making, and importantly, enables you to automate repetitive elements of dynamic work, freeing you to focus on higher value, hopefully more strategic activities. Organizations of all sizes now recognize CWM as the best way to manage the speed and complexity of modern work. From capturing information to notifications to workflow rules, Smartsheet's no-code platform is ahead of the curve. Our automation capabilities represent the fastest growing element of our business today. Have you stopped to consider how your business would benefit if you could free up 30 to 50% of your team's time by enabling them to automate repetitive elements? Though we're in the very early days of these capabilities, our vision is to become the system that not only enables, but also recommends the best path forward and hopefully surfaces that next great insight. That sounds to me like a future that reflects what people have always and will always want to work. I could make a compelling case that fostering the type of individual and team achievements that drive innovation, uncover insights, and create value might be the most important thing your business does. And for businesses seeking to do the nearly impossible, creating a category within an entrenched, well-established market, innovation isn't just important, it is everything. That's why when I heard about the story of an Israeli company named Selina, a provider of adventure travel destinations, and how they're using Smartsheet across virtually all elements of their business, I took note. To tell us a little bit more about Selina and their use of Smartsheet, please welcome their head of growth, Einat Lederdorfs. Hey, Einat, how are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks for inviting me.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So, Einat, tell us a little bit more about Selina's mission.
So Selina's mission is actually to create a global network of unique locations all over the world for people to meet, connect, and share experiences. As you just mentioned, together with Keith, technology is so dominant in our lives. We spend more time on screens than anything else. And we see that human interaction is something that we lack most. So we design spaces all over the world to enable people to stay, work, eat healthy, and meet interesting people.
So speaking of screen time, so tell us about how Smartsheet has permeated the organization.
Right, so we've been using Smartsheet for a few years now in all aspects of the business, from growth to operation, through digital marketing as well. And actually the reason Smartsheet is so good for us is because it's so flexible. We're a super dynamic company. We have needs changing all the time, and we needed something like that to support our needs.
So the word growth is used a lot these days. So when I hear Selina's growth platform, what does that actually mean, and how do we participate in that?
So I'll explain a bit more about Selena's growth. We have over 75 locations around the world today, and with some challenging growth goals ahead as well. So our process consists of market research, real estate, on-site development, pre-opening for operations of new Selenas. It's a complicated process that we need a lot of collaboration from different teams and departments in order to get through. And we have different systems and tools in place. Smartsheet for us and the growth platform that we created upon it is what actually glues it all together and enables that process to run smoothly.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for letting us power that innovative and also sophisticated journey that you're on. And I got to ask, before you leave, what's the backstory on the surfing theme? That seems dominant in the
Yeah, so that takes us back actually to how it all began. So our co-founders, Rafael Museri and Daniel Rodosevsky, they met over a decade ago while surfing in Costa Rica. And that's where they had the dream of creating communities all over the world based on shared experiences. And Selena, as we know it today, is actually the result of that friendship and shared experience.
I love it. What a great story of collaboration and success.
Yes.
So you flew from Israel to Frankfurt to San Francisco to Seattle over 24 hours. Thank you so much for making that effort halfway around the world. Thank you. So while we're talking about surfing, I'd like to conclude with a story of innovation that I found particularly awe-inspiring. If you've ever had the experience of riding a wave, whether it be in a raft, a kayak, a surfboard, or even body surfing, you know what kind of a rush that is, that feel, the momentum pushing you along. Well, years ago, there was a surfer who also loved that feeling. And as he perfected his technique, he found that he couldn't get enough of a rush surfing the waves that he could get to under his own power. He saw waves that were so big, so powerful, so tempting, but out of reach, with no way to get to them. Wasn't attainable. So he needed his unlock moment. So he turned to technology. In his case, a jet ski, to tow him out beyond where the waves were breaking, to get to those waves that he couldn't get to on his own, using momentum to fly across waves 30 to 50 feet high. No one had done this before. No one thought it could be done. And today, all over the world, big wave surfing has become popular. All because one person had the motivation, the inspiration to achieve more. As he puts it, the world needs more people who create and question and search. Please welcome world-renowned surfer, father, husband, and innovator, Laird Hamilton.
Thank you.
How are you, Laird?
Thank you, Mark.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
So, Laird, we're talking about innovation this morning and achievement. And it seems that, as many ways there are to innovate, you have just as many techniques as you have innovators. We talked yesterday about the formula. So my question is, how do you apply a formula for innovation to something that hasn't been done before?
Well, I think that for me, the best way to describe it would be the formula for learning. So when you start, you don't know what you're doing. Then you begin to know what you're doing, and over time, you get better and better. And that becomes a formula. So that learning process becomes a formula. And so you embrace being a beginner and knowing that you're not going to be able to do something. Then you get a little light, you start to do it a little bit better, and then you get really proficient at it, and pretty soon you have some sort of mastery. And then you go, okay, well, what's the next situation? And then you just implement that same process. And you're off and running.
Off and running, you keep going. So outside of the surfing world, you also have started businesses.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about Laird Superfood and what the motivation was for developing that concept and bringing it out.
Well, first of all, it's authentic. So it's something that I use, that I believe in. I think that's mandatory because you have to have real belief in something to be driven. But Laird Superfood itself is a way to share with people something that things that I've experienced in my own life that have worked for me, and I look at it as actually probably the highest form of giving, that I'm able to share things that I've benefited with people that I don't know, which nothing more motivating than that. Right. So that can drive you.
So speaking of motivation, so for those in the audience, how many of you have ever been doubted? You know, you're told you're not technical enough, not senior enough, not innovative enough. Right? It happens all the time. They often tell you, you know, you can't take on that big, gnarly challenge, right? So what would you offer the audience in terms of how you've dealt with and how doubters have fueled you?
Well, I mean, I've ran into a lot of doubt in my career, and you know, you're not going to be anything, and you can't do that, and all those things. And I use that as fuel to power me, but I also use it as a reference to really look at, like, is this real? Like, how much do I believe? Like a test of my faith. Mm-hmm. Like, if somebody doubts me, then I have to consider their doubt and go, okay, you doubt me, so is what I'm doing that great? Is it that special? Is it? And once you answer that question, then if you feel good, then you're full speed ahead, and then it's like, yeah, doubt me all you want. When you're doing it after, then I can sit back and, you know, I call it never cake. Don't make a never cake because you'll be eating it.
So we also talked a bit about how certain things, we talk about this iterative nature, right? And it's like no project, no work. It's really never done. So when do you know you're done? When are we complete?
When we're dead. I mean, that's what ultimately there is no, I mean, one of my best friends was 86 years old, just passed away, founded Valley Health Clubs, the most driven, snowboarding till the last end, but you're just not done until you're finished. But ultimately, it's about the journey. It's never about the destination. It's about the preparation. It's about it's about those little goals along the way.
So Smartsheet until we die.
All the way.
Laird, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
We'll see Gabrielle a little later this
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Inspiration comes in so many forms, and for Laird, it was the desire to ride massive waves. For Anot from Selena, it's about creating deeper connection for her customers in the world. For me, I'm inspired by your stories and the chance for us to play a role in helping you reach that next level. Thank you for sharing your insights, your feedback, even your demands. They are out there. We will never stop listening, and we're going to push ourselves to the greatest extent possible to champion your success. Let's take the next 48 hours to really engage. Thank you.
One of the largest challenges we face is making sure that in such a large institution we're able to stay cohesive as a team.
So at Roche, one of our pillars that we depend on strategically over the next 5 years is delivering excellence every day.
Pre-Smartsheet, we had a bunch of complex information just housed in different places.
One of the big challenges we have as a global company is people dispersed in hundreds of locations.
To make each customer feel like our only customer because I'm able to find all the data I need to serve them best so quickly.
It is exciting every day to see employees pop up with new ideas as they realize the power that we have unleashed with Smartsheet.
Before we had Smartsheet, there was a request from one of our donors, and it took 3 people 3 days to get that answer. And now it takes me 3 minutes.
Smartsheet enables us to seamlessly manage every task and deliverable to achieve our goal of drawing people together.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gene Farrell.
Good morning. Customers are the true power behind Smartsheet. The problems that you solve, the innovative solutions that you create, and the way that you leverage a Smartsheet platform to achieve great outcomes for your business, it's frankly inspiring. It's what drives us and motivates us to continue innovating for you. Now, I get to spend a lot of time talking with customers. It's actually probably the favorite thing I get to do in my job. And I love hearing about your successes and the great things that you accomplish with Smartsheet. And even more importantly, hearing about the problems and the areas where we still fall short of meeting your needs. It's the insights we gain from listening to our customers that determine what we build. In fact, over 90% of our product roadmap is derived from the signal that we get from you. Now, as you saw in the video, and I hope that you see every day, Smartsheet empowers our customers to do amazing things. And we're committed to continuing to partner with you to help you and your business achieve more. Now, another great part of my job is I get to share with you all of the new capabilities that we're building. And I know a lot of you are kind of just can't wait for the new announcements. But before I get to those, I think it's important to understand the different constituencies that we serve. Today, Smartsheet serves organizations of all shapes and sizes, from startups to small businesses to large enterprise. With almost every one of those organizations, we've found there are three distinct audiences. The workforce, comprised of end users who need tools that are easy to configure and use to manage their increasingly demanding jobs, while enabling them to be even more productive every day. IT teams who need to ensure that the solutions that they deploy can meet the bar for security, compliance, manageability. And then business decision makers who need solutions that can improve effectiveness, have the agility to adapt to their changing needs, and can scale to support their growth. So today, I'll start with releases that focus on the end user. For the workforce, Smartsheet helps break down silos that exist within and across organizations. It provides real-time visibility into the status of work, and maybe most importantly, is that Smartsheet empowers teams to change how they work to focus on the most important priorities. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from one of our customers.
One of the great things about being an employee with Arc'teryx is that we participate in a lot of the same activities that our customers do. We're bikers, we're hikers, we're mountain climbers.
Our culture really encourages us to get out and live the activities that we create for. It's pretty cool to see people actually living the values that then transcribe into what we produce and put out into the market. Arc'teryx has gone from a pretty small local company to a pretty big global company in a relatively short number of years. And what we were experiencing was a disconnect with some of our other offices.
Smartsheet allows us to grow faster by enabling real-time communications across multiple time zones.
It really has allowed those global offices to all be connected. The insights that we've gained from Smartsheet around how people are working we were able to pull into a dashboard to succinctly show our leadership how people were working and where we needed additional support. And it's literally resulted in us receiving additional headcount where we have the greatest need.
The dashboard view allows me to provide the information to our senior leadership teams and all our project teams in one location. They know what's going on.
At Arc'teryx, we work hard to design for solutions that people didn't even know they needed. Leveraging Smartsheet allows us to focus on the work that needs to be done and not have to deal with the small administrative tasks that we shouldn't be spending our time on. Having a single view of all of our projects ensure that what we're working on aligns with our vision as a business. Without that view, it would be challenging to ensure that we were going the right direction.
Smartsheet allows us the flexibility to work anytime, anywhere, any place.
So I am a huge Arc'teryx fan, and if you ask my wife, she would tell you that I may be personally responsible for a big part of their growth because of all the gear that I buy. And those of you that work with me every day know that. Arc'teryx has clearly taken the idea of working from anywhere to another level, and they're leveraging Smartsheet to achieve more. We're grateful for their partnership and their participation and engage. Now, as you saw in the video, Arc'teryx uses Smartsheet dashboards to keep everyone on the same page. Now, we introduced dashboards in February of last year, and then we followed up in October with additional capabilities, including more chart types, widgets for Tableau, Power BI, web content, and dynamic view. As a result, the use of dashboards has grown by over 75% in the last year. You have created over 3 million dashboards. It's pretty good for just the first year. But we're not done. You've told us that while it's possible to create beautiful dashboards, it's still way too hard. So, right? So we've heard you, and today I'm excited to share some improvements to dashboards, including the ability to cut, copy, and paste widgets between dashboards. Some formatting improvements that will really improve appearance, things like centering titles. Here you can see how the new dashboards are going to look with widgets being cut, copied, and pasted. So isn't that going to make things a lot easier? So beyond formatting improvements, you've also asked for new widgets to support visualizing sheet summary data in dashboards. So how many folks are using sheet summary? I see some hands out there. So a few months ago, we released Sheet Summary, which eliminates the need to take up valuable sheet space to capture summary data, metadata, or metrics on a project. Instead, all that data can now be stored in the right panel. The #1 request we've had from customers that are using Sheet Summary is the ability to actually elevate those metrics into a dashboard. So I'm excited to say the new Sheet Summary metric widget is available today, so you can put that information in dashboards. Now, the final enhancement for dashboards is a new way to filter. Many of you who've used reports understand the filter by current user capability. So today, we're enabling filter by current user for dashboards. So we think these improvements are going to make dashboards even more powerful, and we look forward to seeing how all of you use them. Now, another way that Smartsheet empowers the workforce is through forms. Forms are a great way to capture data into Smartsheet, and today over 1 million Smartsheet forms are completed every single week. Recently, we introduced some new forms options with a more modern and clean look. One of the biggest requests we have to get improvements to forms is the ability to select multiple items for a drop-down list. Anybody ask for that? Submit an ER, maybe? So, well, we heard you, and today I'm really excited to announce multi-select drop-down lists for forms. Now, Multi-select dropdowns are really helpful to track multiple locations for a job, or more than one department that's working on a project, or multiple parts of an order, or almost any type of survey. So it's super helpful. Now, some of you are probably asking yourself, now wait a minute, how will multi-select dropdown in forms translate to a sheet? Great question. Well, for this to work well, we also need a new column type. So in addition to multi-select dropdown in forms, available today is a new multi-select dropdown column for sheets. Now, as I said earlier, we're just getting started on a bunch of powerful new capabilities for forms that you've been asking for. Things like conditional logic, custom branding, being able to send a form from your domain, making it easier to create a form. Well, we're looking for customers interested in participating in a private beta for this new forms capability. So if there's anybody out there who would like to be a part of that, please stop by the forms booth in the expo. Okay. Do we have any Spartans in the audience? Okay, I'm not talking about Michigan State or closer to home, San Jose. I'm talking about people who've actually competed in a Spartan race. Any of those? Okay, well, if you've never heard of Spartan Race, they are a really cool company and a great customer. Let's take a look.
Running a Spartan Race can be a life-changing event. Spartan is a global company. There are a million moving parts with every event, from production, sales, marketing.
There was no one set way that we were doing things. So bringing in Smartsheet really aligned all of the groups.
It's so customizable, and we're expanding so rapidly. Smartsheet pushes us to figure out new ways that we can use it. Spartan Race is designed to push racers beyond their limits. Smartsheet pushes us as a company beyond our limits.
So please join me in welcoming Vice President of Spartan Race, Rob Neitzel. Rob, thanks for coming out today.
Thank you.
So you guys do some really cool stuff at Spartan Race. Tell me a little bit more about your role.
Well, I'm the Vice President of Operational Excellence. While that title might sound cool, what it really means is I try to organize chaos. And so let me explain that a little bit. Spartan Race, in its 9th year, has a mix of employees that are legacy and have been with a startup mentality. But as we expand our capabilities and our interactions with our customers to not be transactional, but to think about how do we eat, how do we train, and how do we compete, I need to be able to have what I refer to as a common operational picture. And so in my previous life, I was a military officer in the US Army. And we used a common operational picture to be able to fully understand variances to the plan. Collaboration with Smartsheets gives us that capability to have that common operational picture, to take my varied business units, to be able to establish goals, objectives, strategies, and tactics, and to be able to understand any variance to that and how we should react to that, not just in a siloed manner, but collaboratively across all business units. And most importantly, it allows me to be able to prioritize ruthlessly, which is one of the most important factors that we have. And without Smartsheets, we wouldn't have that common operational picture, and we appreciate that work.
Well, so tell us what your team likes most about Smartsheet, Rob.
The thing I like most was it's not a commercial off-the-shelf product. And here's what I mean by that. There are other competitors that are out there that would have something similar, but it'd be about a 75% solution. And so we wouldn't have true buy-in. In operational excellence, I believe in people, process, and technology. Smartsheets was a part of each and every one of those steps. We gave initial guidance, they refined a product, gave us a minimal viable product that our team was able to use, test, and become part of. So the people and the process, supported by their technology, was able to give us success.
Well, thank you for that. Now, we've heard about what you love, but I also know there's some things that you'd like us to do a little bit better. In fact, you told us exactly what that is. So maybe share with the audience the feedback you gave us.
So a common feature that I used before in my military life was a chat tool. And to be able to stay on that platform and communicate the why behind something, I spoke to ruthlessly prioritizing. If I'm changing a priority from, say, number 5 down to number 10, there's secondary and tertiary consequences to that, delays in when it's going to be released. But if I can stay within that platform, have annotation of the note of the why behind that, it enables our team to better understand what is happening, why it's happening, and react appropriately, and not have to go to a secondary platform to have that communication. It's all tied in one system.
Makes a lot of sense, and thank you for sharing that, Rob. You're actually not the only customer that's asked for that. And so one of the reasons I asked you to come out and join me on the stage today was actually to help us introduce a new capability for all of you called Conversations in Context. Urmila Kukraja, who is our product manager and been living with this for the last year, is the perfect person to talk about it. So let's listen to Urmila.
I'd like to share something our team has been working on. The ability to have conversations within the context of your work. Conversations deliver the ability to keep the work and the critical discussions about the work in one place, all within Smartsheet. You no longer need to establish lengthy context in email. And you don't need to spend precious time setting the stage in a meeting. Here's how it works. Click on the comment bubble in a row and get straight to the point. There's absolutely no confusion about what we're talking about. All of our conversations and decisions are captured and organized within the context of the work. When your team is ready to discuss the work, or when they're ready to share with leadership, easier visibility allows for better, faster decision making. Last year, we added the ability to @mention collaborators to send them an email to draw their attention to work. We're excited to announce that in the coming weeks, users who prefer to use email will be able to directly respond to @mention notifications from email. The email response will create a reply within Smartsheet Conversations and keep everything together. When new teammates are added to a project, they have visibility into the history and the rationale of decisions that are made. So ramp up and workflows across the organization are accelerated. Less time searching your inbox for key emails? Better outcomes? Who doesn't love that? With Conversations, work and discussions about the work are all in a single view. So customers, like Spot and Race, can now see the full picture to make better decisions faster.
So, Rob, we're just getting started with Conversations, but out of the gate, how'd we do?
I think you hit it out of the park. It's going to be a tool that will really be productive for us, enable us to stay on that platform, and improve overall communications.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Robin. Thank you for your business. Appreciate it. Okay. The second audience we serve is IT. And as most enterprise customers standardize on Smartsheet, we're focused on delivering the capabilities required to meet their needs for security, compliance, visibility, and importantly, management at scale. Now, as many of you know, most customers start using Smartsheet with a single team or a department. And then as usage grows, IT gets involved. But that's not always the case. With many of our customers, a close connection between IT and business leaders have been essential to building Smartsheet solutions. Seattle-based Vulcan Inc., founded by late Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen, is one of those customers. Vulcan works to make a positive difference in the world and improve our planet. From the Seahawks, to making movies, to real estate development, to the great elephant census. Vulcan tackles big challenges in unconventional ways. Now, a few years ago, Vulcan leadership decided they needed to change to improve their transparency. They chose Smartsheet to make this happen. And to share more about how IT and business stakeholders at Vulcan partnered to roll out Smartsheet, please welcome from Vulcan, the Vulcan Impact team, Rose Hickman.
Thanks, Gene.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming out today.
It's great to be here today, everybody. As Senior Manager of Impact Analysis, I work across our team's oceans, wildlife conservation, climate, and communities projects to define and measure the positive impact we're achieving. The work is broad and global, and it requires careful coordination. A good amount of this coordination actually comes from Smartsheet. Our team has designed the system so that leaders can consume information easily and keep our organization functioning optimally. I know firsthand how important it was for us to have buy-in and support across teams, departments, and functions, and we use a collaborative approach to build solutions that work. But back to our solution. Coordination can be a challenge across any organization, and the stakes are high at Vulcan, where we need the right infrastructure and tools to support our work to maximize impact. This challenge peaked a few years ago when we consistently found efforts overlapping. So to fix this, we set out to develop a program infrastructure to increase visibility and accountability. Our operations and IT teams actually led this effort, and some of them are here today in the audience. So we identified needs, scoped requirements, and developed our team's Smartsheet infrastructure alongside our business counterparts. And the result? A set of standardized workflows and dashboards that manage key information and provided key information to decision makers. We've saved time on reviews. We've been able to better track budgets and travel and better coordinate our work with partners. Smartsheet has helped me and my team devote more attention where we want to, designing and executing programs and initiatives with partners to make and leave the world a better place. So thank you for inviting me here today, and thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Rose. We really appreciate your business and coming out today. Take care. So over the last year, we've introduced a number of new capabilities to support the needs of IT, including directory integration to make it easy to sync Smartsheet with your enterprise directory, event reporting to provide visibility into all actions that are occurring in Smartsheet, and a new license request portal to make it easier for administrators to manage licenses and license requests at scale. Now, we talked about how IT and business partner to support Smartsheet, but we also have a bunch of customers where IT is the primary user of Smartsheet. Recently, I had an opportunity to talk to Michael Alley from Salesforce about his philosophy on the role of IT, and I asked him to share his thoughts with you here today.
Salesforce operates on a core set of values: trust, customer success, innovation, and growth. Salesforce IT rebranded as business technology. We truly partner with our business units so that we are a single collaborative unit. And it starts with letting go of us versus them where that exists. Business technology challenges the status quo in how technology groups and then business units classically work together. We have to constantly innovate and be flexible in the solutions we deploy. I think the company philosophies are very well aligned between Salesforce and Smartsheet. Smartsheet helps business technology innovate by being much more transparent and collaborative with our business partners. It's about all of us collaborating together to make our customers' experience better. When our customers succeed, we succeed.
Michael's a great customer, and we really appreciate his perspective on how IT can really be a leader within the organization and drive Smartsheet. Now, another area where IT plays an important role is compliance. For organizations in regulated industries, compliance requirements is mission critical. All companies need to stay on top of changes in government regulation that can impact how they operate. In August, we launched the Smartsheet Gov platform to support these customers. Smartsheet Gov is a separate instance of Smartsheet that runs in an environment designed to meet the stringent requirements of federal government agencies. Now, another big change in the regulatory environment that impacts all organizations is the European Union General Data Protection Regulations, or GDPR. This impacts organizations that serve customers from EU countries regardless of where those organizations are based, so pretty much everybody. Complying with GDPR requires managing requests, tracking compliance, and maintaining audit trails. Can you think of a platform that might be able to help customers with that kind of challenge? Well, today we're excited to announce a new Smartsheet accelerator for GDPR that we built in partnership with Protiviti, a leading compliance professional services firm. This accelerator allows organizations to create an integrated end-to-end operational framework for ongoing GDPR compliance, monitoring, and reporting. The Smartsheet Accelerator for GDPR is available today. The third audience we serve is business leadership. Business leaders are looking for ways to empower their organizations to execute faster, innovate, and achieve more. Now, there are three ways that Smartsheet is investing to help them do this. The first is executing mission-critical workflows at scale with consistency. The second is managing resource investments across their portfolio of projects. And third is empowering organizations to automate repetitive work to improve consistency, speed, and quality of execution. Today, organizations across almost every industry are using Smartsheet Control Center to execute mission-critical work at scale. Now, as the use of Control Center expands within a company, customers have asked us for additional portfolio management capabilities. To help solve this problem, we developed Control Center Multi-Tier. Multi-Tier is a new capability that enables organizations to better manage portfolios with more granular reporting, advanced access control, and improved scalability. With this, customers can group projects and report on them at different tiers. Tiers can represent departments, regions, clients, management hierarchy, or pretty much anything you need it to. Each tier can further roll up to a higher tier and ultimately to an entire portfolio view. We're excited for more of you to try this as it's live today. Pretty cool, huh? So earlier this year, Smartsheet acquired 10,000 feet. Some of you may have heard of that, right? This decision was a direct result of customer feedback that you needed more robust resources and portfolio-level management capabilities. 10,000 feet serves this need. Robin Sherwood heads the 10,000 feet product team and is bringing this innovation to market. Let's hear from him about what the great work is that they're doing at 10,000 feet.
With 10,000 feet, you can easily see the big picture. It starts with a view of your team's capacity, who's available, and who's overbooked. You can dive into the details and see who's working on what, or when they're on vacation. The fully interactive schedule allows you to make and change assignments based not just on availability, but also people's roles, skills, location, or other unique values important to the project. Use the project portfolio to get a view across all active projects and track high-level status. In 10,000 feet, every project has a detailed resourcing plan. You can easily see the details of project staffing, plus the schedule and budget status. From your personal page, you can track time against all your projects and compare against what was scheduled to improve future planning. The powerful analytics in 10,000 feet provide visibility for leadership to track key metrics, spot trends, and forecast what's ahead. And speaking of what's ahead, soon you'll be able to connect your work plan in Smartsheet with your 10,000 feet resourcing plans and take advantage of 10,000 feet's capabilities from right within Smartsheet. With 10,000 feet resource management, you and your team have the information you need to make confident decisions for successful projects, stronger teams, and a better view of the big picture.
Really cool stuff. We see a ton of value for our customers in both Smartsheet and 10,000 feet, and we're excited to see this integration come to life over the next few months. Over the last year, we've continued to build on our automation capabilities, including time-based, reoccurring, conditional, and multi-step workflows. Customers have told us that Smartsheet automation is saving them hours every week and providing more time to focus on strategic areas across their business. That's powerful. Now, today we're adding to that list. We're launching the highly requested Move Row action. With Move Row, you're going to be able to build automation rules that move a row within an existing sheet or to another sheet entirely. Now I'd like to hear from a customer that uses Smartsheet to drive core business processes at scale.
Ogilvy is one of the largest, oldest ad agencies in America. We've been working with big name clients like IBM and Amex and Dove for decades.
The industry today is changing daily. Before you had 30 seconds of a TV spot. Now you have, a split second on a screen on a mobile device.
We need to modernize. We need to show the world that we can be nimble and agile. The average viewer sees an ad for 1.7 seconds. We see 4,000 and 10,000 ads a day. It really takes a lot of work to jump out of that noise.
And you have to find a way to communicate effectively and get to market quickly.
My team produces, on average, around 300 assets a week, which could range from a Word document all the way to a 15-second video across all different types of platforms. So there was no reliability in making sure that we were all consistently on the same page.
With Smartsheet, we have everybody on board, everybody knows exactly what the latest information is, and no longer are looking for it on Susie's hard drive when she's out sick. Everybody can get to it. The biggest impact that Smartsheet has had on my teams is the collaboration. They can now work with finance, they can work with creative, with the production crew.
Smartsheet has whittled our time in report generating down from days to minutes.
Life isn't busy enough. Now I'm going to be spending 1 week in Chicago and 1 week in New York. The mobility of Smartsheet I love. It's like, you have all your contacts in your phone, and I have all my information in my phone. Everything I need is right there. One of the industry trends is an increased desire for transparency. Smartsheet gives us the perfect tool to be able to provide that to our clients. Ogilvy leadership is always looking for new ways to service our clients, and Smartsheet allows us to work more efficiently with more collaboration, and that helps us serve our clients. Work different means work smarter, work better, be happier at work. With Smartsheet, it's really easy.
So we heard how Ogilvy is using Smartsheet to drive their core content creation process. I've asked one of my teammates, Amy Frampton, our Vice President of Product Marketing, to join me to talk about a new capability we're launching to provide even more power to teams who want to manage their work in Smartsheet. Please join me in welcoming Amy.
Ogilvy is one of our great customers focused on marketing and creative. As someone who loves Smartsheet and has spent 2 decades in marketing, yikes, I am especially excited to share what's up next. Last spring, we acquired a company named Slope. Their content proofing and markup capabilities made perfect sense to us to be a part of Smartsheet. We've now integrated these capabilities right into Smartsheet so that you can use them. Let me tell you a little bit more about how it will work. Communication is fundamental to any business, whether it's with customers, employees, partners, or vendors. A key way for businesses to communicate with all of these groups is through content. And with more channels, personalization, and content types, businesses are producing more content than ever before. Unfortunately, the tools to manage the production of this content are outdated, slow, and manual. Who here has sent a file out for review over email and ended up with this? Me too. This disjointed process is what we're focusing on solving with Smartsheet's new content collaboration features. With this new capability, I can upload and view images and PDFs, with videos and documents coming soon. Like that? Yeah, me too. I can share that content and manage feedback from internal and external stakeholders. They can mark up files, they can leave comments, and I can iterate through every step of the process with version control. Customers can collaborate at scale across new product releases. Agencies can communicate with their clients to launch new campaigns. But it's not just about creative assets. Anyone can use content collaboration as a review tool. For instance, worldwide teams can manage contract reviews across all of their vendors. Smartsheet content collaboration is live today. What do you think? And I'm going to share a little preview with you here today that we're building this out with even more capabilities, including some super cool work with our partner Adobe. To learn more about what's coming in this area, join us at our Adobe session at 11 a.m. today.
Wow, that's great, Amy. As you know, we've heard from customers of all types, not just marketers, that they're excited to use this new capability.
It's true. While marketing is clearly close to my heart, I think almost everybody here, whether in management, facilities, HR, programs, or other roles, will use this feature for PDFs, document approvals, visual schematics, and more.
I agree completely. In fact, we've heard from customers in construction who want to use this capability to get feedback on drawings, and from a life sciences company that plans to use it for collaborating on SOWs for all of their suppliers. We want everyone to have an opportunity to use this new capability. So for the next 60 days, content collaboration will be available on all plans. After that, it will be available in business and enterprise plans.
But Jean, I have to share one more surprise for the marketers in the house. We've heard feedback that a number of marketing processes could be served by our accelerators. To meet these needs, we're announcing today 3 new marketing accelerators for events, shared services, and campaign management. First, events. Planning events is hard. I've done it. The accelerator for events integrates event best practices with Smartsheet's powerful features. It enables event owners to effectively manage their event plans from requests to scheduling all the way through to lead collection and processing. The accelerator for shared services empowers teams to efficiently manage all of their service requests from submission through completion. The Smartsheet Accelerator for campaign management focuses on the way marketing teams put their campaign frameworks into practice every step of the way. And we're excited to announce that we collaborated with Serious Decisions, a leading research and advisory firm that specializes in marketing and sales, to bring marketing best practices to life with this accelerator.
Thank you, Amy. I am super excited to see how customers use all of these new capabilities we're releasing today. And as you heard, our theme for this event is Achieve More, which is all about being inspired to take on big challenges. Now, we have a partner in Condé Nast that's working on a project that's truly about achievement and reaching for what was previously impossible. And they're powering it with Smartsheet. Let's take a look.
A lot of people maybe look at the things I do, and that's incredibly dangerous. You know, there's a good chance you're going to die.
What we set out to do is capture this entire process, really get inside of Paul's mind as he's attempting to approach this flight next year. Just a few weeks ago, we actually attempted his first test flight from Santa Barbara, California to Kauai, Hawaii, and that would have been a world record in itself.
It's the longest, most barren stretch of ocean in the world. When you're in your plane by yourself, you might as well be on the moon. Nobody can come rescue you.
So we're on our way over to the Princeville Airport, where Paul is expected to land.
Oh, shit! And now I've lost a lot of the functionality of all the avionics in my aircraft.
We just got word that he had to change his flight path and turn north off the coast of California back up to Redmond, Oregon.
There are so many factors that are outside of our control, but we have the tools, and those tools exist within Smartsheet to effectively plan and be able to adjust that plan in real time.
When I set my mind on something and get this challenge, I don't let anything stop me. There's absolutely no doubt, 100% in my mind, I'm going to be able to complete this leg and also complete this around the world flight.
Now, to share more about this very cool project, I'd like to welcome to the stage Paul Hodge and Maya Dresden. see it.
Thanks, Gene.
So this looks like an amazing project. Tell us more about it.
Well, I've always had the passion to fly since I was a kid, and it wasn't until after my third startup in the year 2000 when I finally got my pilot's license, had the time and money to do so. And I've been flying myself ever since. And I also love extreme challenges, and this record, flying a plane around the world east to west, a piston-powered plane, is currently 9 days, and I'm looking to do it in 5 days.
Wow.
So,
Aim high.
Yeah, you know, I think 5 days is possible, and it's also, if I'm going to do it, I want to set a record that can, you know, stand the test of time. So a lot of things have to go right for this to happen, and so a couple challenges. For example, you saw in the video my HF radio. It's a ham radio. It's required for cross-ocean communication. Failed. And not only I couldn't communicate, but it also fried the avionics in the plane.
Oh, jeez.
So luckily I was only 150 miles offshore, and it was clear, so I was able to turn around and hand fly the plane back. That was just an example. One of the bigger challenges, the physical challenge, you got to stay awake on the endurance side for 120 hours straight.
Wow.
And you're only stopping for an hour at each of the 8 fuel stops. And so I'm going to be in deep ketosis and, of course, consuming large superfood products the whole way to do that.
Awesome.
And besides obvious danger of flying a single-engine airplane over all the vast oceans across the world, you know, there's really nowhere to go but down in the water.
Probably shouldn't think about that a lot.
But, you know, exactly, you don't think about that. But you've got weather. Weather can pop up and cause diversions. We've got a very limited amount of fuel to get where we need to go. And you're also refueling on foreign soil. And we're actually shipping the fuel to these locations. And so the last guy that tried this actually got stuck in Africa for 2 weeks because his fuel got stolen before he got there. So we got things like that. So it's going to take a team of 10 people. We've got meteorologists, we've got mechanics, we're doing oil changes along the way, operations people trying to get customs clearances before I land to kind of eliminate the time for customs clearance. And we're using Smartsheet to live collaborate throughout the entire process.
Well, that's awesome. Mike, can you share more about how you guys are leveraging Smartsheet to make this happen?
Absolutely. Well, as Paul noted, like, this is an incredibly complicated and constantly changing project, and we really need Smartsheet to organize, communicate, and correctly resource the multiple production teams around the world to document what he's doing and keep him alive. There are so many factors outside our control.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good. I wish I could control wind, but I can't. And so the ability for us to change in real time and distribute new project plans provides the team with mission critical agility, which is just so the ability to pivot on a dime as we had to do in Hawaii.
Wow, super challenging. I also understand you're going to use 10,000 feet. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we were able to leverage 10,000 feet to model and resource the teams for the test flight in Hawaii, and we want to take, we had crews in 3 places just for that test run, and we're going to use the learnings that we got from that to capture, to improve what we do moving forward. It was interesting. It really helped us to feel much more confident in our ability to effectively develop for the local and regional teams that are in these 8 places all over the world, and again, pivot when we need to, when things don't go exactly according to plan.
Yeah, it seems like agility is really key. So now you just saw the new collab capabilities. Any interest in using those?
Yeah, we actually got a chance to have a sneak peek at that. Thank you very much, and we're really excited. What Amy showed, you know, with the video and the commenting on video, we really look forward to. But in the meantime, we think that it'll really allow us to manage our production workflow from start to finish on a single platform, which really helps us because everyone knows, you know, I loved what she showed with all those emails coming back at you and you just don't even know where to go. And so this really optimizes our resource and creates a better final product, I think.
That's awesome. So Paul, much like you, our customers are people that try to achieve great things. Can you kind of give us a close with, tell us what motivates you?
Yeah, I guess I'd say I'm driven by the challenge, but not just any challenge. I need to be passionate about the challenge. And so now you know my passion for aviation. I'm also passionate about business and startup companies. And you know, Large Superfoods is actually no exception. Our mission is to, you know, provide clean, plant-based fuel products and that's affordable to the world. And although it started with an athlete, you know, with Laird, obviously, and fueling Laird, we found the biggest audience is really you guys, a corporate warrior. You know, being able to charge for the day, have energy when you go home to spend time with your family. Like, you treat yourself like an athlete. So we provide hydration, sustained energy, and the nutrients that you need to do that. But you know, I'd say looking back through my career, my work with Large Superfood, my work on this flight, there's one constant theme, and that seems to be that, you know, a passionate, collaborative team A great team can make the impossible possible, and that's certainly what Smartsheet supports.
For sure, absolutely. Well, awesome. Thank you, both of you, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And good luck, Paul. We'll be telling you more about it. So the theme of Engage this year is Achieve More. And after listening to Paul and Maya, they are definitely achieving more. And in fact, when you see the amazing work that they're doing, it kind of makes me feel a bit like a slacker. But then again, when you look at all the things we announced today, maybe we're not doing so bad. We'll make it another year. So we're together the next couple of days, and if I see you in the halls or in a session, please take a moment to let me know what you think. And of course, I know you're not shy about this. Tell me what you'd like to see next. Thank you so much.
You know what this is, and this, and this, and this. But the beauty of Smartsheet isn't what it is, it's how people use it.
We make better decisions faster with Smartsheet. Smartsheet has given us more time to collaborate.
I know what I'm looking at is as accurate as what everybody else is looking at.
No matter the scale, speed, or height of your ambition, when you have Smartsheet, there's only one thing to say.
I'm on it.
Can do.
You got this.
I'm on it.
Consider it done.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Anna Griffin.
Can do. What a better way to launch our new campaign than using the words that matter most, yours. Because you're what makes Smartsheet so special. It's that can-do spirit that's evident in the solutions that you're developing, the teams you're enabling, and the never-been-done-before achievements you're making with the platform. And that's what we're here to celebrate today. You have all dared to dream big, to do more, find a better way, always on the quest to push yourselves, your work, your mission further. And the proof of that is right here in front of me, because you took the initiative to be here. You made the request, you caught the plane, you made sure the office could survive without you for 3 days, and today, here you are at Engage. Now, why go through all of that? Because you know Engage is bigger than just work. It's about making your work matter. And I can tell you, when I look at you, I see it. Inside each of you is that spark to be creative, that desire to innovate, the belief that you have the power to change the world. And it's not just for yourself, but it's for your entire company. It's that big, but it's also that small. Because innovation comes in all different shapes and sizes. It's not just about moonshots. Sometimes, actually most times, it's about practical innovation. Those incremental improvements that when taken together and multiplied across your organizations, not only change how people work, but what the work they do can achieve. I shared just a few examples in the opening preview of our campaign, but each of you here in this room has an equally powerful story to tell. So much so that we decided to dedicate this campaign to you, the can-doers of the world. Now, you may be asking me exactly what is a can-doer. Let me explain. I don't have to tell you The challenges of business today, they're fierce. The stakes are high, competition's multi-level, global, 24/7, and customer loyalty, it's nearly non-existent. Yet their expectations have never been more demanding. So how do you do it? How do you press on, meet the challenge, and face the day? It's not just a question for the CEO, it's for everyone. It takes a certain spirit and attitude and, well, swagger to withstand that kind of pressure and deliver. And that spirit can be neatly summed up in 2 words: can do. Can do people say, give me the toughest challenge and I'm going to find a way. Can do people, they don't go at it alone. They pull together the perfect team to make it happen. Can do people, they laugh in the face of schedules and expectations and over-deliver every time. And the thing about saying can do, it's contagious. It starts with one person who finds a way, and it quickly spreads and it becomes a practice, a process, a mantra, and finally, a culture. That's the combined power of you and Smartsheet. A platform with one purpose: to activate human achievement in a world that moves at the speed and the scale of software. So dream big, throw down the gauntlet, raise the bar, because with Smartsheet, you're ready. Now, while being a can-doer is exhilarating, you don't need me to tell you that it's also not always an easy job. You are challenging the norms, you're fighting the status quo, you're breaking new ground. So know this, we've got your back. We're here to champion you in every way we can so you can stay focused on the important work at hand. As Jean said, we've been listening closely, and you've been crystal clear about what you need from us. And it comes down to 3 things. First, you asked us to raise awareness so more people in the organization can know the power and understand what Smartsheet can do for them. Second, you asked for more support to tailor and implement your needs and your ideas. And third, you asked for inspiration from an ever-growing community of empowered users. We heard you, and I'm proud to show you how we're acting on it. So let's start with awareness. You just saw a preview of our new television ads, but that's only the beginning, because over the next few weeks, we're launching a vast array of advertising to raise the awareness of the Smartsheet platform and shine a light on your success. The campaign features a variety of can-do messages, inspired and delivered from a diverse set of fellow can-doers. And one of my favorites in our campaign happens to be Gabby Reese, legendary professional volleyball player, model, actress, author, entrepreneur, and the co-founder of Laird Superfood. I invited her here today to share her message with you on a more personal level, because she's walked in your shoes. She is challenging that status quo every day and inspiring a new way of working and a new way of thinking. So please join me in welcoming Gabby.
Hi. How are you?
Thank you, Gabby. Good to see you.
Hello.
Okay, Gabby, when we first met, you talked to me about that feeling inside, that what you use to really achieve more. And I was so inspired by that, I thought it's the perfect message for everyone here at Engage. So tell us, how do you do it? Like, how do you get yourself going?
Well, I think I learned from sports that, I was going to be surrounded by people who had similar and very different talents or gifts than myself. And if I was looking at them, I wasn't going to be developing my own inner voice, my gut, and my own skills and talent. So I learned to celebrate other people's greatness and then really try to listen to my inner voice and my gut and let that sort of lead me, because I knew that at least if I honored that voice inside of me, I would probably, even if the road was windy or challenging, arrive at the right place for me.
Thank you. It's hard to trust your gut sometimes. So
it's very tough. And I mean, I can say this because I'm female. I also think women have very strong instincts, and then we like second, triple guess it. Like, oh, do you think, is that okay? And I think sometimes we know, and it's okay to say, well, this is what I think or believe or I should do.
You've had a lot of individual successes, but what I admire about you is you've had just as many team successes. You really know how to create partnership, that ability to get people aligned so they can achieve more, both on the field, on the court, in the boardroom. Tell us about that. How do you create those kind of partnerships?
I learned, I think in the beginning, you sort of look to the outside for everyone to tell you what you should be doing, or you look to them to sort of produce. And then what I think I learned, especially first obviously as an athlete, was I needed to be all the things that I wanted in a teammate or a partner. And I've been married to Laird for over 20 years, and even in that scenario, it's like I need to be the person that I'm in charge of, but also I need to be the one. If I want them to work hard, I need to work hard. If I want them to show up on time, I need to be on time. And just also sort of empower them as a teammate, where you can get that 1 and 1 equals 3, and realize too that we all do give differently. That's the other thing. You guys know this in a work team. We don't all give exactly in the same language. So I think be the best example, really show up, do your best each day, because that's really all you can do. But then also start to recognize what everyone's strengths are, and accept that they might even do it differently than you.
Yeah. We were talking about it's not always easy being a can-doer, and you as a can-doer. Sometimes you have to really give yourself a pep talk. What's a Gabby pep talk? What do you tell yourself to get yourself pumped up in the morning?
I always sort of check in before. I don't know if any of you experience this, like when you wake up, you go, oh, it's easy today. I feel light, or I'm a little flat or heavy today. So what I try to do is I sort of recognize where I'm genuinely at, and then say, okay, today I'm going to give my best and honor where I'm really at, but I'm still going to go beyond that. But also, we discussed this a little bit. I call it embracing the suck. Sometimes you guys will have, deadlines or challenges, or just, it's interesting, it's either all happening in a harmony and melody, and sometimes you're like, wow, things aren't working well. And you just realize this too is a part of the process. Anyone who has had successes, all of that grinding, all of that suckiness it's all part of it. You don't get all one without the other. And I think once you kind of embrace that, you go, oh, okay, here it is, and I'll just work through it. But not to be surprised or overwhelmed or defeated by it by any means.
Gabby, thank you for sharing your winning spirit and being a part of Engage.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
One heck of a couple, right? In talking to Gabby and Laird this week, I learned how much they rely on one another and how lucky they are to have that kind of mutual respect and unconditional support for each other. Support is critical in any relationship, including the relationship between you and Smartsheet. And you told us you wanted more resources and support. You told us that you wanted support in different shapes and sizes, new tricks, new shortcuts, new ways to innovate, new approaches, and you want it, well, whenever you need it. So I'm going to share with you 3 areas we're dialing up to meet those needs. First, Smartsheet support is now going 24/7, 365 on your cases. We're now staffing Smartsheet to meet you and your teams whenever and wherever in the world you need that to happen. Second, you ask for more access to the collective wisdom of our best and brightest, our Smartsheet ninjas, ProDesk, the ultimate activators of Smartsheet success. Who here has ever worked with the fantastic ProDesk experts? Yeah. ProDesk offers one-on-one coaching sessions to help you accelerate a fast start and optimize your Smartsheet solutions. And now we're increasing our ProDesk capacity by over 50% with schedules available to all time zones, including weekends, so you can do more. Many of you have signed up for ProDesk sessions while you're here at Engage, and they are really excited to meet you throughout the event. Third, I'm also especially excited about a new platform we're launching this fall to expand the support to the Smartsheet community. It'll better enable networking and problem solving with your peers around the world. And it has an enhanced natural language search engine to make discovery faster and easier. Our goal is to ensure that you know just the right places for even more immediate answers. And lastly, you've asked for support in mobilizing Smartsheet adoption across your organization. Do I have any mobilizers in the house? Yeah. We launched our mobilizer program last fall to give you a central resource with customizable tools to share, educate, and expand usage of the Smartsheet platform. And this fall, we're amping it up. We're adding resources specifically designed for your IT stakeholders and lines of business leaders, with new resources, tools, and calculators to share the value of Smartsheet, so you can unleash it across your entire organization. And lastly, you asked us for inspiration. And we've designed this year's Engage just for that. We've brought more than 500 Smartsheet champions here to help you achieve more during these next 3 days. More immersive experiences than ever before. And we're featuring 62 of your peers to showcase the most powerful use cases we've heard from you this year. If you haven't downloaded the Engage event app, it's time. This app is going to be your on-site guide to all experiences here at Engage. For example, you can explore the Innovation Center and learn what's new, get a sneak peek into the Smartsheet roadmap, meet with our product and user research teams to shape the future of Smartsheet, and connect with other Smartsheet users in your area, your role, or industries. These meetups are designed to help you network, share best practices, exchange ideas. You might also participate in our learning labs, a 90-minute deep dive of hands-on training, and join some of our large and growing communities. You heard Mark mention the importance of the Smartsheet community, and our definition of community is rapidly growing. We now have more user groups than ever, customer advisory boards, product advisory councils, and the early adopter program. Each of these is purposely designed to shine a light on your experiences, your ideas, feedback, to make your work effective and to make Smartsheet, frankly, better. So be sure to stop by the community booths, learn more about how you can participate, and join us as a Smartsheet evangelist. On Monday, you're going to be receiving a link to Engage at Home. This is a single link with all of the show's content, presentation, templates, insights that are offered here at Engage so you can keep the good going. Take all of this rich content home, share it with your teams, and use it to relive the power of the week again and again. Yeah. And to build on that theme, you asked us how we can make the inspiration of Engage last not just 3 days, but throughout the entire year. So next month, we're launching Smart Sites, a new content hub with a collection of podcasts, videos, use cases, and curated articles that share your stories, celebrate your ingenuity, and pass along the inspiration that you provide to your peers. So thank you. Thank you for inspiring us. You know, I look around at the 4,000 can-doers in this room, and I see the most concentrated collection of achievers and go-getters, people who never back down, who look at adversity as an opportunity. You make it happen with Smartsheet. And at this very moment, I almost feel bad for the rest of the business world. Do the math. With 4,000 of you sitting in here, imagine how little is getting done out there. I'm in awe of the power and the potential of this room. When a problem needs a solution, a cure, a plan, a new process or a product, or just a way to make the impossible possible, you are the people who say, I got this, no problem. It's Cindy. Cindy, are you out there? She's on a mission to improve the experience of IT across 6 global lines of business, empowering her entire organization to do more. Cindy, show them what it looks like to be empowered. Yeah. Look out, world, Cindy's coming. It's Jeff. Jeff is dedicated to the pursuit to reinvent how the world uses money. Jeff, show us that look you give a big, meaty challenge. Yes, I love it. Jeff's on his game today, folks. and it's KC. KC was inspired by the our Salesforce connector, and he worked his magic to mobilize it across an entire global financial organization. KC, show us what it looks like. Yes, that's the can-do spirit. And finally, it's Candace. Candace is on a mission to give people the peace of mind by helping them protect their digital lives. Show us what it looks like when you know your work matters, Candace. Yes. Proud? We're proud of you. Thank you. As varied and diverse as we all are, and in how we use Smartsheet, we have one thing in common. We are empowered to achieve more. Everything we've just shared is the beginning of an ongoing conversation, and we want to keep it going. Please share with us what you've been empowered to achieve, what you're doing today that just yesterday seemed impossible. We want to hear about the purpose, the passion, and the meaning behind your work. So reach out to any Smartsheet ambassador, and they'll be able to direct you to a story capture booth during your stay here. And we're going to continue to share your stories so you can keep doing and inspiring and achieving. As we close this session, I want to leave you with this. It's you who inspire us every day to keep innovating and refining Smartsheet to